Hello everybody, my name's Ryan and I'm a driving instructor, and today the DVSA failed, but here's their action plan. So the DVSA have failed and here's their action plan. Quite a long title, probably shorten that in the thing. Before we go any further, like, comment and subscribe. I received an email. Oh my gosh, the DVSA admitted that the failed. Oh, isn't a big deal. It's like, wow, they've sent an email and they've got this action plan. Actually, kind of a couple of weeks ago, I did a video on this meeting that took place, and I normally ignore them. And this one was a bit more important because the DVSA were coming up with an action plan of what they're going to do going forward to solve the booking crisis. This includes overhauling the booking service that the ADIs, the approved driving instructors, and some PDIs, potential driving instructors, use. Driving schools. It also includes people who book other things and kind of banning the bots and all that. The upshot of all of it was interactive with the DVSA as a whole and MP is that they are going to reduce the waiting time. But also there's other factors in there that they've talked about in the email. Actually sends you to a web page, and I'm going to follow that in a moment. But yeah, they kind of admitted, look, we're broken. How do we fix ourselves? I'm not really 100% bothered about the waiting time. I've seen it better. I've seen it worse. But yeah, it's not in it isn't in a good place. So let's roll the video. So this is from the government website. This is part of the email that was received by actually loads of people, probably everybody with the driving test. DVSA sets out plan to reduce driving test waiting times. We're going to skip through it. You'll be able to read it on the screen. Recruiting 450. Right. First of all, stopping learner drivers getting ripped off. Passenger driving tests is a life-changing opportunity for millions. Sky waiting times. Yeah. So they're identifying there's a fault. They're identifying that nobody should have to wait 6 months. They're identifying that the travelling to the other side of the country for taking a test is difficult. So this is kind of what they're saying. What have they done about it? Well, we've recruited loads more driving examiners, 450 of them, in two phases in the civil service. Is this realistically going to make a difference? Well, it might. 450 in the number of test centres is about 3 driving test examiners. But the thing is, you get through natural wastage anyway, so they reckon there's only going to be about 300 people assigned to this. So we're probably into, I don't know, maybe getting down to maybe 1 or 2 per test centre, maybe 10 in the bigger ones. We'll have to see. Review and improve the rules for booking driving tests. What's the rules and the processes? And they kind of go through that. And what's your experience? Please share it here. Introduce tougher terms and conditions for the service driving instructors used to book and manage car driving tests for their pupils. There's new terms on the 6th of January. To be fair, there isn't a lot of detail in this. Even when you click the link, there isn't. It just basically says that you can't misuse it. And the DVSA can issue driving instructors with warnings or suspend their account or close their account if they misuse it. Basically, anybody who's like misusing somebody's data, if you basically capture somebody's driving license, that you're going to use their information to book a driving test, which we've always done since the start anyway, and we've always told people, well, can I have your license so that, yeah, we can add this for your app or your information. So we've got that information in the background. Now we've just got to tell you that we're doing it. Kind of done that anyway. And whenever if you were to sign up to me as a driving instructor, you would get that notice as well. Consult on new proposals for increase the amount of time people have to wait to book another driving test in certain situations. This was one that came up on a conference, that if people get multiple serious or driving faults during their driving test, they may have to wait significantly longer for a driving test, because at the moment it's like 10 days. But potentially you could say, all right, if you've got 3 serious errors, then you've got to come back 3 months later. because you've got to go and have a load of driving lessons. I don't think it'd be as harsh as that. The other thought was, well, if you get 3 dangerous, go and redo your theory. Again, possible. Physically or verbally assaulting their driving examiner, that actually might lead to a test centre ban, where you can't book that test centre, so you have to go somewhere else. And if you have to go somewhere else, that means you have to learn a new area, and therefore probably wouldn't pass. Fail to attend their driving test without telling the DVSA and consider charging them a penalty. I think that's a daft idea, but they're looking at it. So there we go, 10 working days to be able to book another test. Increase the amount of notice you need to give to change or cancel a car driving test without the fee. They've been on about this for ages. Encourage people to change or cancel their driving test sooner if they aren't ready. So if you're not ready 20 days before your driving test, then you shouldn't be taking your driving test. This is kind of what they're saying. And you can read it on this section there. Explore changing the current 24-week limit on how far ahead car driving tests can be booked. I think this is a booking service problem. It's not a DVSA problem. I think the system that they've got, you can only book up to 24 weeks ahead. It won't let you go any further. And I think they might be reducing the amount of weeks down to, say, I don't know, 16 intentionally. But then again, on the new system that they might introduce, I think they might increase it. They might increase it to 30. But how do you know somebody's going to go on sick leave? Or how do you know that somebody's going to go on a holiday? And if somebody puts a holiday in, how far in advance have you got to book a holiday? Imagine if somebody's got a dental appointment that day. One of these examiners, they're not machines, although some people think they are. It's kind of like predicting the future, and it's impossible. People get sick, people get ill, driving instructors get ill. It happens. Yeah, it's very difficult for that planning. Encourage learner drivers to be better prepared for their driving test through the Ready to Pass campaign. Should be anyway. Yeah. Reducing the waiting time. So there we go. Right at the end here. The actions being taken will help the DVSA to provide 1.95 million car driving tests between April 24 and March 25. Actually, this number was actually over 2 million, or it used to be. And it came down when they reassigned everybody back to the normal jobs. They actually made some real inroads when they reassigned everybody. But for some reason, they abandoned the idea. And now nobody can get a standards check because the examiners are busy. Everybody's busy. We're going to reduce the waiting time to 7 weeks by December 2025. Let's see. Back to me. So there we go, there's the video. All I can do is say that, well, we plan to reduce the waiting time in December 25, which is 12 months away, to 7 weeks. The clock's ticking. This is what you said in 2020. Actually said in 2021, after 3 lockdowns. We want to reduce the waiting time. It always was about 6 to 8 weeks anyway. But now, they've had a new examiner in Blythe and Gosforth, and all those tests instantly disappeared. There was availability like 3 months away, which is 12 weeks, and it instantly disappeared. And the waiting time is now end of May into June. That's 6 months away still. And I can't see how they are realistically going to solve this. Yeah, I've talked about it in that little bit of video and what's going to happen, but I don't know. Jury's out. Let's see what happens in 12 months. We'll be referring back to this video when I've probably got the same Christmas jumper on going, a year ago you said this, and this hasn't happened. Or will we be going, yay, the DVSA got it right. Remember, it's not about the examiners. It's not about the driving test centre managers. They can't control any of this. This is about somebody higher up in the DVSA, the government services, that needs to be sorting their life out and their system so that it can get better. And I can see them putting a new system in by July, just so they can effectively ruin the figures. More and more people are going for driving tests every year. More and more instructors are trying to get those driving tests. On average, 40,000 instructors. Always has been, always will be. Probably a few more once the population increase goes through again. But yeah, I don't know. Tell us what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. I think I've talked enough for today. Yeah. See you through the week if I don't see you before. And enjoy your week, enjoy your weekend. And yeah, that's all I've got to say about it, really. Jury's out. Let's see what happens, yeah? Yeah, I got a feeling we've been making... Oh, the DVSA failed again. But anyway, I digress. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.